Hello everyone, this is Cindy, and today is Thursday, and it is Thursday's Thrift Flip, which is hosted by the Russet Willow, Russet Chicks Design, and co-hosted by Lovin's the Life. They are so nice and have great channels that you will not want to miss. In addition, they are willing to help you whenever you have a problem or a question. I am just excited to be part of this group, so be sure to subscribe, like, save, and comment on their channels. The link to their channels is listed in the description box below. Also, there are other collaborators that are excited for you to see what they have made. So be sure to like, save, comment, and subscribe to their channels also. The link to the playlist is in the description box below. So let's get started. Today I have one big DIY for you today because it took me quite a while to complete it. It is a sewing bench for my craft room, but it can actually be used in any room. So let's see what supplies you need. Well, you need some wood putty from Lowe's, some batting, and a neighbor had some and wanted to get rid of it, so I took it. Some fabric from Joann's, upholstery stapler and staples from Joann's, screwdriver, a square drill bit. This bench had square screws in there. I had never seen any like that before. So I found a square drill bit and was able to fix it. An electric saw or power saw, an electric drill, and some wood slats, and they were pine from Lowe's, some foam for Joann Fabrics, and some acrylic chalk paint in black from Walmart, wood glue from Dollar Tree, scissors. I had to use a walnut wood stain from Lowe's, and a sanding block from Dollar Tree. Well, I had an old sewing bench that was in a state of disrepair. It sported an old vinyl cover that was torn and discolored, and in fact, I would put a piece of cardboard on top and spray paint many of my items on top of it. It had many years of use. I don't know how old it is, but it's pretty old. And I thought that it needed a refresh, but I wasn't sure about how to go about it, so I basically just left it there, and I thought this would be a perfect time for thrift flipping. I started by literally cutting and ripping the old batting and vinyl covering off the sewing bench. After that, I removed all of the staples and the hinge and the top of the bench. And also inside was a thread holder, and that was inside the bench. I think it was on top of underneath the seat. Not in the deep part, but in the shallow part. After removing everything, I had a raw pressed wood bench that needed repairs. I saved the screws because they had a square head on top. In fact, I had to find one of the drill bits in my toolbox. I am not sure the name of the drill bit, but it was challenging removing and reinserting the screws when I was done with the project. I saved the screws in a plastic bag so that I would not lose them. And that's a good thing to do because sometimes when you're busy working, you can put things and then you may not be able to find them later. Put them in a little plastic bag and you can put it where you are working in an area that you can find them. I used wood putty to fill in the holes around the bench, but mostly on the sides. I let it dry overnight. Now it was time to determine if I needed to refill some of the holes and sand the dried spots. Now I purchased the wood slats from Lowe's, but they did not cut them down to the size that I needed for the size of the bench. So just so you know that bit of information, they only cut very large pieces of wood there. Therefore, I had to get a power saw and cut my own slats for size. I cut 32 slats and bundled them in groups of 8. Because 8 were put on each side. Now it was time to stain them. So I took a cloth and stained them on both sides, the top and the bottom. Now, in order to get the spacing right for the slats, I did a dry run to get the spacing correct. I had a small piece of wood rod that I used for another project, and you'll see that one in What Would You Make, because it was just perfect for spacing the slats evenly. Now, once I got them lined up, I used wood glue. I spread it on each slat and put it down on the sides of the sewing bench. This was done on all 4 sides. However, I only did one side at a time because I wanted the glue to dry before I turned it to the other side, because you see, I didn't want anything sliding around. The other thing that I did, I used some big clamps to clamp it down so it would stay. And then I put several heavy objects on top of the slats so that they wouldn't move and they would be adhered really well. And the glue held them down very well because none of the slats fell off. It is possible that maybe later I will nail them down at some point in time. So now on to the seat. An old yellow foam in the center of the seat was replaced, and I got the replacement from Joann Fabrics, and I just had to cut a little bit on one side. Other than that, it fit perfectly in the center of the bench. Now, my neighbor gave me some batting that sufficed to cover the top. In fact, I folded it over and it covered the top and the sides. So I was very happy with that. So that was something I didn't have to pay for. Next, it was time to cover the seat with fabric. Now, I found some cork fabric and I thought, oh, this is just really, it's going to really knock it out the park. But when I put it over the seat, it was too much of the same color. It just didn't work for me. In my mind, it worked, but when you actually put it over the top of the bench, it didn't work because it didn't give the aesthetics that I was trying to achieve. So back to Joann's I went, and I found some black fabric with bold, colorful flowers that looked really good. Now, I am not worried about if it's a nice fabric or does anybody like it, because you know what? It is only fabric. I probably will change it 2 or 3 times in the future. So I cut the fabric so that I would have enough to fit around the seat and a little to fold over on the insides. The fabric was stapled with an upholstery grade stapler and staples. And I had a stapler, but somehow, I think I may have had a couple of them. I loaned one out and didn't get it back, and so the back didn't fit in. Anyway, I had to go and buy another one. And I started on one side, but made sure that I identified the openings that the screws needed to fit in the metal hinge. And because the fabric was black, I marked where the screws needed to be with chalk. So after I stapled the one side of the seat cover, I just pulled it very taut and stapled for the cushion to be smooth. After the opposite side was done, I continued with the other side and made the corners like making a bed. It was really looking good. It was time to attach the seat to the bench, and I used my electric drill to put the screws into the hinge. It wasn't easy, but hey, I did it, and it turned out really well. So you have to let me know what you think. When I get my craft room clean, I will use this seat to craft some amazing things. Thanks for watching and for all of the support you have given me. I really appreciate all of my subscribers, and I'm heading to 900, and there will be a prize when I get there. So keep watching, and please subscribe and follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, give me a thumbs up, save, and comment. And remember, a friend is someone who knows all about you and still loves you. This is by Albert Hubbard. See you later. Bye-bye.